Hey guys, Derek with Truck Support. So today we're actually going to be showing you how to replace the converter. As many of you know, the converter is a really important component because essentially that's your battery charger. So to replace the converter itself, you'll want to start by removing the faceplate of the power distribution box. The faceplate is held in place by 5 set screws, one at either corner, and then one here in the middle. So once you actually have the faceplate removed, the next thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that we don't have power to the power distribution box. To do that, we're actually just going to turn off all of our breakers. From there, you'll just want to ensure that you don't have the generator running and you're not plugged into shore power. So to replace the converter, the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually disconnect the AC power feeding into the converter. To do this, you can locate the breaker based on the 3 wires feeding from the converter. You'll see a white, a green, and a black wire. The black wire is going to be fed to the actual converter breaker, while the white's going to be going to the ground bar, and then our green to the neutral bar. So we'll want to trace these wires back and then disconnect them. After disconnecting the AC power in, we'll want to disconnect the DC power going out. So you'll want to locate the actual DC connections. And then using an Allen wrench, we'll loosen them. So using this Allen wrench, we actually loosened the set screws that held in place the DC outputs. From there, you'll see this red clip that you'll actually want to disconnect. After that, the converter itself is all disconnected. Now we just need to remove the 2 set screws that anchor it to the power distribution box. From there, we can actually slide the entire converter out. So with your new converter, you're going to want to slide it in place, and then using the 2 set screws, anchor it to the power distribution box. Once the converter's in place, we're just going to want to repeat the process in reverse. So we'll start by connecting the clip. And then we'll connect the power DC outputs . So once the DC outputs are secure, the next thing we're going to want to do is actually secure the AC inputs. So we'll start with our power wire, which is tied to our breaker, followed by the actual ground and neutral. Once those wires are reconnected, we're actually going to want to test to make sure that the converter is working. So in order to do that, we're going to want to turn our breakers back on, with the exception of the hot water heater, and then we'll actually plug into shore power and ensure that we see a spike in the battery readout. In summary, what we did was we removed the faceplate, we ensured there was no power feeding to the inside of the KEV. From there, we actually disconnected the AC inputs, followed by the DC outputs, and then the red clip, removed the 2 set screws that hold the converter in place, and then repeated the operations in reverse. If you guys have any other questions, always feel free to reach out to us via the Wufoo forum.